Yo, what is up everybody, my name is Fitz, and here in this special video we are going to talk about basically a TLDR patch note. And well, you know, there are a lot of TLDRs out there, but for me this is just going to be the, you know, these very short summary, okay? Because, you know, since we are casual, of course there are only a few things that we need to worry about. So one new interesting thing, well, you know, we don't need to go through it. Anyway, one cute new thing, we have an iron flask which grants additional ward and restores ward on use. Very interesting. New divination card, so if you want to collect we have that. Act 1 here is an important part for us. Monster life has been increased by roughly 46% at level 1, tapering down to the same amount of life at level. Monsters are going to be tougher starting in Act 1. And Brutus has a renovated arena, so, you know, he may have had a slight home makeover. And, well, that would be basically it. I mean, despite that, a lot of skills have been increased in base damage and effectiveness, so it's gonna be easier to scale them. But with the amount of increased life that you get, it won't feel that much of an increase first, because it is at 46% at level 1. Of course, as you go through the levels, it will feel a little bit more in line with the damage, or like with the buffs, but there's a big but, not just my butt. There are, let's go down here. Basically, like I said, everything has been buffed when it comes to damage, or like mostly everything. Like, for example, you have heavy strike. Where's heavy strike? Heavy strike has a 313% of base damage now from 250. Very big. Movement skills. Well, movement skills have been nerfed. And the Val skills, some have been buffed, some have been nerfed. As you can see here, Val Ancestral War Chief, very powerful. So I'm actually pretty interested in this. I think we will see more Panopticon builds where you have a lot of Ancestral War Chiefs or a lot of sectors. Val Cyclone has been buffed a little bit. And yeah, here we go. Here's one of the nerfs. Val Ground Slam has been nerfed a little bit, and it no longer always stuns enemies. So, you know what I mean? Support gems, everything has been nerfed, except for projectiles, where their quality has been changed from, instead of having attack and cast speed, they have projectile damage now. And traps just have you know, a few nerfs here and there. But yeah, mostly, to put it into perspective, everything has been nerfed either from 5 to 10% at all levels, to 10 to 15% at all levels, to 10 to 20% at all levels, while their awakened counterparts are basically just either 10% at all levels or 20% at all levels. Let's see for a good example. Let's have an example. Here we go. Brutality, as you can see, 25 to 39 from 40 to 59, so that is basically the 15 to 20% damage as you go up. And Awakened Brutality now has 40 to 44 from 60 to 64, so it's basically 20% at all levels. So that is what I've been explaining earlier, and you can see a similar pattern across the board if you want to look things up yourself. But, you know, I want to spare you guys the time. That has been it when it comes to that. Chain doesn't have that much of a thing, so I am actually that this may be your projectile slash poison slash traps league this time. And yeah, that's basically it. Everything has just been nerfed across the board. Well, apart from multi-strike, where you can use it on totems now. So yeah, Panopticon builds. Passive tree balance, there's going to be a new Asylum cluster, which reduces the effect of curses on us. This is going to be in the Templar side. Careful Conservationist for the Ranger is going to be added, where you have reduced flask charges, and you can gain flask charges more if you've dealt a critical strike. So very interesting. Explosive Concoction Pathfinder is going to be most probably the most meta thing right now. And that's basically it for that. Ascendancy balance. You basically, a lot of the ascendancies that had some form of elemental ailment immunity are getting it gutted or halved. Like, for example, Inquisitor no longer has elemental ailment immunity, while the Hierophant has reduced effect of non-damaging ailments, while you have Arcane Surge. But take note, this will not decrease ignite damage because it is not a non-damaging ailment. Okay, Pathfinder, just removes elemental ailments, no longer has immunity while you have a Flask active. Same with the Raider, do not have perma elemental ailment immunity. You just have a 50% chance, but I'll talk about that a little bit later because I immediately noticed something. And yeah, that's basically it. This has been, these are just nerfs all around. Unique item balances. Unique flasks have been nerfed, but I guess with the Enkindling Orb, you can bring them back to the old values anyway. Cluster Jewels, yeah, don't worry about going for Cluster Jewels anymore because almost everything has been nerfed in regards to Cluster Jewels, so I'm actually not gonna go for a Cluster Jewel build this league. And that's been basically it. Map mods for Zana, kinda meh. I mean, I don't need Nemesis anyway. I mean, we can Delirious farm. The Headhunter drops as a core item. I don't see the use of it. Delirium, we're gonna be slower anyway. For me, it's just gonna be a waste. So, one thing that I have an extreme curiosity to is they did not mention anything about the Saboteur. Because the Saboteur has Pyromaniac, where you are immune to Ignite and Shock. Right? Okay, now that we have that established, the only thing that you would need to go for at this point is just an Aquamarine Flask. You're basically granted reduced effect of freeze on you, and you can move while you're still frozen. So that immediately gives you complete elemental ailment immunity. Well, at least mitigating your freeze. And one thing that I saw that GGG didn't nerf, which is basically beautiful, is this Crystal Skin. This, I mean, like I said, I've always been a fan of durability, and I know a lot of, well, I typically remember all of the important and unique passives that give durability. Crystal Skin looks to be very, very appealing for raiders now, because once you go towards Crystal Skin, you already have elemental resistances and you avoid elemental ailments, and you can choose to either have increased avoidance from any of the elements, or you could just go for all three. I'm pretty sure the people in hardcore will go for the whole cluster anyway, because it gives you a 30% chance to avoid being ignited, and you have a 30% chance to avoid being chilled and frozen, and minor chance to avoid cold damage from hits, and of course chance to avoid being shocked, and they're all at 30%. And you have another 15% here, so that basically gives you 5% to avoid elemental ailments, and then you have another 5% chance to avoid elemental ailments, and a 30% chance to avoid any of your particular ailments, and then a 15% chance plus a 1% to all maximum elemental res, so you increase your soft cap by a little bit. So yeah, I'm thinking that this is going to be a very powerful cluster, Crystal Skin. And there is also one counterpart here in the Witch and Templar side, which is Anointed Flesh. This doesn't give you a chance to avoid the elements overall, so that's actually a little bit weaker, I guess, in my opinion, but you still have the ability to have more elemental resistances, and you can reduce the ailment durations on yourself. And you also have chill and freeze resistance. And once you go to Anointed Flesh, you basically have 50%, because you have 5% here, 30% here, that's 35, and then 15% at end. So that's basically 50% reduced effect of elemental ailments. And elemental ailments are gonna be ignite. So ignite is gonna be counted. So if, for example, you're gonna be a Hierophant, it would be good to go for ignite resistance and then anointed flesh to increase your durability against ignites. And then over here, it's actually pretty underwhelming now for the Marauder side and the Duelist side for Solid Steel, because it only gives you flat armor and +1 to all maximum elemental res. Gonna be kind of meh. So I'm thinking that if you're gonna be a Duelist, it will be better to go for Crystal Skin, because it's just there, you know? So that is one thing that I can recommend to you guys. If you're gonna make your builds, I highly advise to try these out, because I definitely will myself. I am gonna build the Guardian. I'm gonna go with Anointed Flesh and Anoint Crystal Skin on my amulet. So that's actually what I'm gonna go for. Anyways, I mean, that has been it. I don't want to, you know, increase the duration too much. I mean, I just want to make the video as short as possible so that you guys can be so at least I can set your expectations for the new league. So that has been it. TLDR again, active skills have been buffed. Act 1 monsters have increased life, and you can see they will taper down higher level that you go. Support gems have been nerfed, except for projectile skills and traps, and poison has been buffed, and elemental ailments mitigation have been cut for the majority of the ascendancies. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope this has been informative to you guys, and I hope to see you in the league start soon. I mean, I'm still gonna play, you know, I'm still gonna play. There's gonna be some fun interactions that we're gonna do with Absolution. I am gonna play with that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, please do. If you dislike it, please tell me. And you know, I shall be seeing you guys pretty soon during the league start. I think it's gonna be just a few more days. So yeah, let's get ready to die more than Zizaran this time. Oh my god.